Understanding Unlearning. Hello, I am a teacher. I hope this will not prevent you from listening to me, and most of all, hope to be able to help you become your better self. I teach people how to make the best use of their potential, and today I am going to talk to you about the smart way to learn things. Have you ever heard the term unlearning before? It means getting rid of old ways of thinking and not doing things that don't work anymore, or might even be wrong. It's important to be able to unlearn because our world is changing so fast, and we need to be able to adapt and grow with it. In this chapter together, we're going to explore what unlearning is, why it matters, and how to do it. We'll also talk about some things that might get in the way of unlearning and give you some tips for overcoming that. By the end of it, you'll have a better understanding of why unlearning is important, and will maybe have gained some practical tools for doing it.
In this unit about unlearning, you are going to understand why unlearning is important. Identify your own beliefs and behaviors that need to be unlearned. Learn practical strategies for unlearning. Overcome barriers to unlearning. By the end of the unit, you will understand the concept of unlearning and its importance in personal and academic growth. Discover the benefits of being able to unlearn consciously. Learn practical techniques for unlearning. Have you ever felt like things are moving too fast for you to keep up with them? That adults just switch gears and move on with their life while you wonder what is going on? Actually, this happens to all of us regardless of our age. But there is good news. You can do something about it. And we want to help. We want to share with you a useful practice that you can put into good use in basically every aspect of your life. It's called unlearning. Does it sound weird? We all know about learning. At your age, most likely learning takes half of your day. But how can you unlearn? What does it even mean? To unlearn something means to let go of old beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve you and to decide that you are going to be open to new ideas and opinions. Unlearning can be extremely challenging, but it's a very, very important skill to have if you want to become the best possible you. In this unit, we'll tell you more about unlearning and we'll tell you how to unlearn if you'd like to try this. We will explain why it matters, and how it can help you achieve your goals. Are you with us? Let's do this. Unlearning is not about forgetting what we all know. More than that, it means that we recognize that what we know is no longer accurate or useful. We do not mean that you need to forget those maths formulas or forget how to write in English. But we mean that sometimes we have been taught things that actually harm us in our current reality. For example, have you been taught by your parents that you need to brush your teeth in the morning after you have breakfast? But do you know that you actually need to do it before you eat to brush away the piled up bacteria? But if you have done it the wrong way for years, how do you switch? For many people, this is one of the things they discover they need to unlearn. That it takes some effort and might mean losing or changing some habits. Unlearning requires a willingness to change and adapt. It can be a powerful tool for personal and later on, for professional growth. It is actually quite interesting to question our own thinking and to decide that we are now being open to new things. This way we can learn so much about people and about the world as a whole. Unlearning can be particularly important in fields like science and medicine, where new discoveries and advancements are constantly being made, but you can really use it in any sphere of life you can think of. Do you need to unlearn the way you brush your teeth? Or maybe your idea of going to bed after 12 because you feel so tired every morning at school? Do you think that people around you also have to unlearn some of their beliefs or ideas they live by? Maybe your father needs to unlearn the way he approaches news, getting them from TV or from Facebook. Or your mother needs to unlearn how to use her old phone in order to learn how to use her new one. Maybe they need to unlearn their ideas about your time at school and afterwards. Everyone has something they need to get rid of. And quite often, whether you are brave enough to do it becomes the difference between your ability to adapt and become better or just remain in the same old place where you feel unhappy. Unlearning requires us to admit that we don't know everything, and to be open to learning from others. It can be uncomfortable to question ourselves, and it can be even more difficult to let go of the way we have thought and done everything our whole lives. 13, 15 or the 19th of May not sound like such a long time for older people, but for you it has been your whole life, hasn't it?
So, now that you know what unlearning is, maybe you are asking yourself how to go on about it. How do we identify what needs to be overwritten, and what should stay as a useful habit or approach to life? Is there something you do every time in this situation? For example, When your parents tell you that you have to shower or tidy up your room, do you get irritated? If yes, which is quite normal by the way, do you lash out at them? Do you think that maybe this could be something that needs to be unlearned, in order for the situation to not escalate? Do I have to suppress myself all the time? Do I not deserve to have my feelings known? To this I would say yes, you most definitely would, but you do not control others. And if you cannot change the other participants in a situation that you do not like but would just love to get a different outcome, then you can only change something within yourself. It might be the way you view their concern, or the way you respond. It could be your expectations towards your parents, who have been like this their whole life. But this is the area you need to unlearn about.
Seek feedback from others. Ask people you trust for feedback. This can be a helpful way to identify blind spots and areas you need to work on. For most of us, this is probably harder and more unpleasant than the previous step. It is one thing to analyze yourself in the safety of your mind and a whole other thing to allow others to poke around. However, you need to be mindful of a very special window, called the Johari window. It states there are 4 areas of knowledge about a person. What you know about yourself plus what others know about you, your most public space. What you know about yourself plus others do not know, your most private space. What others know about you that you do not know, and what neither you nor others know about you. If you follow this model, you will notice that there are 2 areas where you, and all of us, are blind. This is like the place on the back where you can't reach to scratch, even if you try your hardest. And just like it, this area that others see but you don't can be assessed only through their help. Would you prefer to be blind for some of your strengths and faults? Or would you prefer to improve everything you can, so you can be happy? Lastly, unlearning requires practice and patience. It's important to acknowledge that change doesn't happen overnight and that it's okay to make mistakes along the way. The key is to remain open to feedback and to keep challenging ourselves to grow and learn. Remember, unlearning is not about erasing everything you know, but rather about being open to new ideas and perspectives that can help us become better versions of ourselves. I would like to offer you to try a very specific exercise for today and maybe for the next couple of days. It would require you to be observant, honest and actually, quite brave. As most of the exercises in this module, it is going to be quite simple and easy to organize, but it will require a conscious effort on your part. The task is really easy to do. For the next 12 hours, be very observant of your day. Follow your day very consciously and take note, on your phone or on a piece of paper, of all the things that do not go your way. At the end of the day, take a look at your list. Then ask yourself separately for every single thing, what did you do wrong? Not others, not what the circumstances were, but what you yourself should have done differently. Then ask, if this happens to me again tomorrow, how will I react and what will I do to get a different outcome? You can repeat this every day afterwards. You can decide if you like it to become your daily practice and integrate it into your life. There are many benefits to this exercise, practice, and probably I cannot even think of all the ways it could be of use to you. But unlearning starts with observing, and I would love to offer you this chance to do it. Reflection. Take out 3 nicely looking sheets of paper and label them. Take out your open mind and a friend, a really good one. First sheet should be challenges to self. Second sheet should be argue with respect. Third sheet should be take a break. Take the first one, challenges to self, and write down 3 safe and kind challenges to yourself. 1 for today, 1 to be done in 3 days, and 1 to be done in a week. For example, today I am going to cook dinner for my family. In 3 days I am going to read 2 lessons ahead of schedule for a subject I don't like. In a week I am going to start a new hobby. Etc. Give this sheet to your best friend and ask them to help you achieve your challenges. After you are done, take a few minutes and think on this. Did you manage because you were relying on your old habits or because you dared to try something new? Take the second sheet, called Argue with Respect, and write down the last 1 or 2 times where you remember having vastly different opinions with someone. Best if it is the friend you prepared with the other materials. Take a deep breath and reach out to them. Remember together an occasion when you disagreed on something. Sit together and explain to each other your position again, but this time promise each other that you will not enter the conversation in order to be heard but to listen only. Set a rule that neither of you is allowed to interrupt. After both of you have finished explaining, do not say anything more. Instead, write down 3 things that you learned from the other person while listening to them, e.g., you prefer to listen to loud music. Or, cats really bother you. Take the third sheet, called, Take a Break, and write down 1 or 2 activities that you think take up too much of your time. It could be the so-called doomscrolling, the act of spending an excessive amount of time reading large quantities of negative news online, or watching videos, playing games, binging on TV series, or maybe studying. Take a short break from these activities for a few days or even a week. Stick this sheet somewhere close to your desk or bed, and each day, write 1 thing that you discovered while not spending the time as you did before that break. For example, social media can reinforce certain beliefs or thought patterns, and taking a break can help you see things from a different angle. Did you manage to steal 1 hour with friends outside? Did you have a nice chat with your mother instead of watching reels? Did you have 1 more hour for sports and manage to overcome a challenge there? To unlearn can sometimes mean to be brave enough to try something new or to hear someone out. Do you think that it is easy for you to practice? Which areas of your life do you believe would most benefit from you unlearning something? Unlearning is the process of letting go of old beliefs, habits, or ideas that may no longer serve you. It means being open to new ways of thinking and learning, and being willing to challenge your assumptions and biases. Unlearning can help you grow and evolve as a person, and can lead to positive changes in your life. As a teenager, it's important to be open to unlearning and relearning as you navigate through life and encounter new experiences.